What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to edit this picture of Deborah, and we're going to make this image stand out already. It looks really good already, but we're going to make it stand out even more, okay? Polish it up real nice. So let's reset it. I purposely underexposed this image, mainly because when you have blonde hair, it's easy to blow out the highlights. So I just underexposed slightly, and you can easily bring it back in post, and I'm going to just slightly bring it back to like right here. Yep, where it's not too blown out, but I can see her face. So we're going to send it over to Photoshop for some skin retouching. So click photo up top, edit in, send it over to Photoshop CC. All right, so when the image transfers over to Photoshop, you want to go ahead and click window, click actions, and then you want to go ahead and play the frequency separation action that I provided. So that's right here. Click play. So when that opens up, you're going to go ahead and grab your brush. Okay. You're going to zoom into the face. And then you're going to grab your brush, and now you're going to paint on Gaussian blur onto her face. She has freckles, and the blur will mess with the freckles, so I'm not going to paint over the freckles. I'm going to paint over the rest of the face. You want to avoid any of the sharp lines, like the nose area. You want to avoid that, or any other lines in the face, because it's going to just turn into mush throwing that blur on it, you know. So right now it's a very subtle blur that goes onto the skin. Very, very subtle. Paint that on right here. You want to avoid the lips, any sharp lines. So paint over all of the bumps on the skin. Just like that. Right around the lips. Perfect. Okay. So now, let's say you wanted a stronger blur, which I do here, just a slightly stronger. You're going to right click Gaussian blur right here at the bottom. Edit smart filter. And now you can increase the blur on the skin. So I'm gonna go to about 19, 17. That's better. So I'm gonna go preview. Watch this. Before, and then look at the skin after. Nice and smooth. Click OK. So one thing we can't do is forget about her arms. So let's go back here, and let's go ahead and smoothen out some of these arms, right? All right, so let's smooth out some of the arms, painting out the blue. So now let's paint some, so now let's put some Gaussian blur onto the arms. Just because when you edit the face and then you don't edit the arms, the image looks kind of unbalanced. So there we go. Nice little blur there. You don't got to really do it on the hands, but I'm going to just do it anyways. All right, let's paint some here, down her forearm, down to her elbow. Really nice. Perfect. Okay, let's do before and after. Before and after. Real nice and subtle, but cleans up the image real nice. Maybe just a little bit here by her chest. Right here. And maybe a little bit by her belly button. Right there. Okay, cool. Let's back out. And we're good. I like it. Okay, so now let's get into the face and remove some of these bumps and blemishes on the skin. So I'm going to right click on this layer, skin smoothing layer, click merge down. Now you got your low and your high. Your low is your color, your high is your details and bumps and stuff. So we're going to stay on the high layer and zoom in just one more. And now we're going to use the spot healing brush. You can also use the patch tool, but spot healing brush you can also use, and I'm going to use it for this one. So now we're going to just remove the bumps on the skin. You see here? Bam. Bam. One here by the lip. Bam, gone. I don't like to I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to this. I just like to remove the bigger bumps, you know, because we're human and it's fine if we have a couple bumps on our face, you know what I mean? But just the bigger ones. And see, we're zoomed in a lot, but if I back out, I'm sure we won't be able to even notice the rest. Let me see. Yeah, see, you can't really tell. So I'm gonna leave it just like that. I like it. Now we're gonna go ahead and even out the tones of the face, like the skin tone. See right here, this dark spot, we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that. So on your low layer, duplicate this layer, because we don't want to mess up this layer. We want to duplicate it so that if we mess up on this layer, no biggie. We could just delete it or just start fresh. You know what I mean? So on this layer, you want to go ahead and grab your mixer brush right over here. This is the magic brush. This is what I call the magic brush. Make sure the values are really low, around 10%, right up here. Okay. Now, we're going to get rid of this dark blob. And how do you get rid of it? Well, go to a brighter part of the skin, like right here. On Mac, click Option, or PC is Alt, and you're going to see this little bullseye. Okay, so you click that. Now you sampled it. Now you can see up here the area that you sampled it, where you sampled from. So when you sample the brighter part of the image, now in a circular motion, go ahead and paint it on over the dark spot. Hey, it's gone. Isn't that cool? All right, so let's look at before and after. Before and after. Look how natural that looks, and we just got rid of that dark spot. Perfect. Now, another thing that I like to do, you see the highlight on her left cheek? Well, now on her right cheek, it's smaller. So what I'm going to do is even it out. Even out the bright highlight on her cheek. So what I'm going to do is sample a bright part of her cheek, which is right here. Option or Alt, Option or Alt, and now I'm going to sample this part. And now in a circular motion, I'm going to make this part a little bigger. You see, to match this side. See that? Okay, let's take a look. Now let's back out and let's take a look and how if they're symmetrical. Almost symmetrical. Extend this part a little bit more, like this, like that. And you see what's happening here is like there's a harsher line. So what I can do now is just grab like right here where it's in between. Click that, and now I'm gonna circular brush to like almost like fade it, you know, like fade the bright with the darker spot. So let's go back. Okay, cool. I like that. Let me go before and after. Before and after. Beautiful. I love it. Look at that. All right. Now let's back up one more time. I do this all the time. I back up. I make sure I like what I'm doing, and I love it. I really like it. Okay, so now that we kind of blended in the skin tones and got rid of those blotchy patches, now we can do a little dodging and burning. So I'm going to close this out, click on the DMB action that I provided, click play. Once that opens up, you want to go ahead and click dodge, and then get your dodge tool right here. Make sure you're on the dodge layer. Okay, now we're going to go over natural highlights on the face. Okay, so right down the ridge of the nose, make sure the exposure is really low. So I got it at 4%. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and go down the ridge of the nose like this. I'm gonna do like almost like a triangle from her cheekbone, like right here. Watch this, down, up, and then across. You see what I mean? It's almost like a triangle. Watch this, boom, you know, and then fill in the middle like that. So just emphasizing on those highlights on the cheekbone. Super, super subtle. I'm going to do it a couple more times. Just like that. Now, let's go even closer. Let's get into the eyes. Now, let's grab the dodge tool. Now you can increase your exposure to like 20. We're going to make it really small. And when you do it on the eyes, you just want to avoid the edge of the eyes. You know, you want it to be some kind of contrast from the outside of the eye where it's darker. So just slightly go around the eye like this, like that. Okay, look before and after. Before and after. See that? Nicely brings it out. Let's back up. All right, now let's dodge some of the rest of the body. So let's go ahead and click my dodge tool. Now let's adjust our exposure back to 4. Now we're gonna go ahead and emphasize other highlights of the skin, like right here, right there, maybe down the arm. See right there, that natural highlight right there. And I think we're good here with the highlight. Yeah, I think we're good here. I like the way it looks. I don't want to overdo it or do it for no reason, you know. Now let's go to the burn layer. Burn layer, grab your burn tool. Now we're gonna go around the nose. So right here, see this? We're gonna sculpt out the nose. Beautiful, watch this. Before and after. Look how the nose is sculpted real nicely. All right, now we're gonna go a little bit under her cheekbone. This is her cheekbone where the highlight is. We can just a little bit right there, just one pass. Just like that. Make it more, emphasize that cheekbone. Watch this, before and after. Awesome. All right, let's go down to here. Let's emphasize this, the shadow on her arm right here. There's a shadow right here, emphasize on that. All right, let's back up and let's take a look. Let's see here, before and after. Ooh, I like it. I like it. And that to me looks great. Now, one last thing. Layer. I'm going to flatten out the image when I'm done. Watch this. Filter. I'm going to go to liquify. And I'm going to make that the right eye bigger because it's a little bit smaller. Watch this. All right, right here. Now I'm going to go to my eye size. I'm going to just increase the size of the right eye. See that? So now it's more symmetrical. I like it. So here's the preview. Before and after. So it's just a little bit more, just a little bit bigger. I think right there is good. Click OK. All right, so now let's click File and then click Save. We're going to send it over to Lightroom. So when you click Lightroom, the image from Photoshop will come here. You see, here's the original. And here is the one after skin retouching. Okay. All right. So now this is when I do the cropping and stuff. You see coffee's a little crooked. So let's just make that straighter right here. About right there. Okay. Click done. Now we cropped in. Now there's more space on this side in my opinion. So I'm going to just crop in a little bit on this side to balance out the image. Yeah, that works. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and cycle through some of my presets and see what kind of look I prefer for this image. You know what? The best I ever had, it's not bad. It's a little on the brighter side. Clean look is always good. I mean, look at that. Watch before and after. See? Brings down some of the highlights, polishes up the image really nicely. Pure gold is nice. Starbucks. Oh, this one is nice too. But I think for this image, I'm going to go with the clean look and just bump up the highlights a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to bump up the highlights just a tad. Let's see. Maybe make it a little bit more contrast like that. Let's see. Before and after. Yeah, the image doesn't need much, you know. It just needs just a little bit more punch. Let's see. The shadows. It doesn't really matter. I think right there is fine. I don't need to see the background on this image. The whites control the hair. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna go any farther with the whites. Here are the blacks. Here it controls the background. Again, I don't need the background for this image, so I'm gonna leave it like that. This is before and this is after. Okay, let's go down to my colors, and I normally assess my image and I look at it and see what colors I like and I don't like. One thing about the greens on her shirt are really subdued. Maybe if I want to bring out the greens a little bit, I can let me see. I think because aqua, yeah, the aquas control the green. So I'm gonna turn up the aquas to make those leaves pop out of her shirt. And then let's see what the blues control. No, the blue doesn't make any difference in the image. The yellows. Oh, here we go. See, because she has blonde hair, so the yellow controls the blonde. And I'm gonna increase the yellows just a tad. See, it brings out the yellow in her hair and in the shirt. I'm gonna bring that up a little bit. Yeah, I like that. See that before and after. I like it. I like it a lot. Cool. All right. Orange usually controls skin tone. I'm gonna leave that alone. I like her skin tones the way they are. Red usually controls the lips. Yep. Actually, I'm gonna bump the saturation on our lips, make them look even more. Yeah, I love it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think we're done here with this image of Deborah. Here's a before and after one more time. Here is the first image starting, and here is the final image. Look at that, nice and polished. Not even that big of a difference, but it's polished now. Before and after. All right, so as I was editing this video for the tutorial, I realized that this highlight on the lip here was kind of bothering me, and I think this is a good time to kind of show you how to remove something like this using frequency separation. So I'm back in Photoshop in frequency separation, and I'm on the low layer. The same thing that we were doing with the mixer brush and blending in the skin tones with it, we're gonna do the same thing with this lip. So I'm gonna grab a dark part of the skin right here, dark part of it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sample that, Alt or Option, on the Mac, and then what I'm gonna do is just brush it over this area right here. Remember that the low frequency controls the color, so I'm just controlling the color. Notice that the texture is not going anywhere, it's just there. Let me grab a little bit more of this darker area here to kind of make the process faster, you know, right there. So now it's darkened, and now let's back up and let's take a look at it really quick. Okay, so now I have that line there. You see that line right there coming out of the lip? So what I'm gonna do is grab the high frequency, grab my patch tool, and I'm gonna, because it's part of the texture now, I'm gonna go like this. That was kind of sloppy. And I'm gonna just line it up with another piece of the lip, like right there. And now it's gone. Just a little, it's just like a little piece there. That's just bothering me. You probably won't even notice it otherwise. Like that. Okay, let's take a look. And we're good. That looks really good. There's like another piece of, there's another blemish right there. I could spend all day taking care of blemishes. But I'm gonna remove that part. I think that looks really good. Now let's say you wanted to remove the highlight on the lip. The same concept. Go to your low layer, grab your mixer brush, sample a darker part of the lip, and then just kind of brush it over, and you're gonna see the highlight kind of fade away. So that's if you really wanted to get, you know, super anal about it, you know. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I think it looks really good. All right, let's back out a little bit more, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So here's the before, and then there's the after.